Sermon a Day. I am Pastor Tom Estes, and this is your 5-minute sermon for March 3rd, 2013. The title of today's message is, Fill the Pots with Water. Let's look at John chapter 2, verse 7 and 8. It says this, Jesus saith unto them, Fill the water pots with water. And they filled them up to the brim. And he saith unto them, Draw out now, and bear unto the governor of the feast. And they bare it. Now those of you that are familiar with this story know that this is the first miracle or public miracle, I should say, that Jesus ever performed. It was at a wedding that was in Cana of Galilee. We know that Mary came to him and said they have no wine. And he said, what does that have to do with me? Basically was what he said to her. Mine hour, my time has not yet come. Meaning I haven't revealed myself yet. Mary knew that Jesus could fix the problem, but he's saying, look, I have not revealed myself unto the world yet. But he did decide to go to the servants privately, say, fill these pots with water, and they did. And then he said, take it out and bear it. Now, what we notice about this, and what stands out to us all, is that Jesus turned this water into wine. That's what is always talked about. It's called the miracle of Jesus turning the water into wine. And I think that's obviously where our focus should be, because it's a miracle that Jesus Christ did. But something that's always interesting to me, and has always been interesting to me, is that these servants humbly, quietly, peaceably obeyed. Now, the servants knew what the governor of the feast was expecting. He was expecting wine. Yet they had just filled these water pots with water, didn't they? They didn't fill them up with wine. They went and filled them up with water. And Jesus said, bear it. And so they bared it. So they took it out. No questioning. No snickering, no anything. They just simply did what they were told. I don't know if these servants were saved or not, but they trusted Christ as Christians should trust Christ. There are times in the life of every single Christian where God tells us some things that we are supposed to do. And I'm not saying he says them audibly, and I'm not saying there's a part in the Bible that says our name and says, thou shalt do this. But God speaks to us. God leads us down the road that he would have us go on. And there are times in our life that we are going to be called upon to do things that, quite frankly, just don't make a whole lot of sense. And it is in those times that we need to fill those pots with water. That we need to simply obey. That we need to simply do what God is telling us to do. I'll never forget the first time I quit my job because I knew God wanted me in the full-time ministry. I expected to be encouraged by others. When I told them I quit my job because I was going into the ministry, I wasn't encouraged. I was told, what are you doing? You can't do that. You've got a family. You can't quit your job. What are you thinking? It was something that didn't make sense. But right after I finished my last day of work, I got a call to go to a church. Literally the same day. As soon as I got home, I got a call to go to a church. I candidated for pastor, and I became the pastor of that church. You see, there are going to be times in your life where God's going to call you to do things that don't make any sense. Maybe it's giving an extra amount of money to your church. Maybe financially speaking, you don't have it. But for whatever reason, God is leading you to do it. And I'm not saying give this money because somebody told you to. I'm talking about those times when God is leading you and you just have this burning desire within you. I need to give this extra money. Yeah, but we don't have it. I know, but I need to give this extra money. Yeah, but what are we going to do about our bills? I don't know, but we need to give this extra money. Maybe it's to the ministry. I don't believe that God has stopped calling people to the ministry. I think that men have stopped going into the ministry. That's what I think. I don't know that, but that's what I think. And when you look around today, you'd say, well, there's all these other opportunities to make money. The ministry is not one that is going to get you fame, especially if you're an independent Baptist who's trying to preach the truth. It's not going to get you fame. You're not going to sell a lot of books. You're not going to be famous in any way. Why would you do that? Well, if that's what God wants you to do, you need to do it. Can you imagine how those servants felt when the governor not only was happy with the wine, said it was the best wine he's ever had? Can you imagine how they felt? Like, wow, that was pretty cool. There's been so many times in my life where I've seen God work. And I'm just kind of like, wow, that was pretty cool. And God will do that for you. But you got to obey him. You got to do the things that he wants you to do. Even if there's no earthly reason to do it. Even if it makes no sense. We got to be just like these servants. Fill those water pots with water. All right, so that was your 5-minute sermon for March 3rd. I hope that was a help to you. I hope that if you're struggling with that, I hope that you'll just give it over to the Lord. Just give it up. Just do exactly what He wants you to do. And I guarantee you, you'll not be sorry if you do that. Check out our website, please, southsidewinterhaven.com. I think you'll like all the things that you can learn about our church there. I think you'll like seeing our videos and listening to our audio podcasts. I think you'll enjoy those. And if you're ever in Winter Haven, Florida, we'd absolutely love to have you come and join us for one of our services so that we can preach to you. God bless you and have a great day.